So this is what social stratification means to us and how it affected our lives.
My name is Sharice Thomas. I'm from Georgia. I grew up in a single parent home. I am the oldest out of three children. I want to talk about how stratification has affected me and how social class divided my family. When my uncle started his own business, he started to change a little bit, and you can tell. I really didn't notice because we stayed in a different part of Georgia. But after my mom was going through some problems, we left Hinesville and we moved up to Atlanta where we were staying with our uncle. We didn't have much, we didn't have a place to live, so he said it was okay for us to stay there. And shortly after living there, I could notice that we were being treated a little differently than his family, his wife, and his child. And you can see there was like a big difference. My mom was working so much to get us like back on our feet that she wasn't really there to see it. But since we were there all the time, we saw how we were being treated. The final straw, I guess, was when he had construction coming over to like work on a part of his house, and he didn't want us in the house at all for whatever reason. At that time, I didn't understand. I guess he felt like we were going to get in the way. It was really really hot outside, and I begged him, let us stay in the house, or like sit in the garage, you know. We won't get in anybody's way, but he was like, I don't want you in the house, whatever, blah blah blah. So we was like riding our bicycles outside, and it's in Georgia. It gets hot there too, almost like how it gets hot here in Florida. So it's really hot outside that day, and we was like riding our bike for hours to the point where my little brother said he couldn't take it anymore. So I remembered the code to the garage, and we were sitting in the garage, and he had like this big fit, like, what are you guys doing in here? Blah blah blah, and so he kind of like whooped us for being in a garage. I got the worst one because I was older, and so when my mom came back, she was just like, "No, we can't stay here anymore," and we just left. And I was so happy that we left because we was going through like so much, and I really didn't want to tell my mom everything that we were going through because we were already going through a hard enough time, and we really didn't have anywhere to stay. He kind of made me feel like less as a person, almost like if we really didn't have anything, kind of felt dirty. But you know I wanted to try everything to not give him a reason to treat us that way. But um as me as an adult, I know I wouldn't never want to treat anybody like that. If I climb up the social ladder, I never want to treat anybody that way. Um, Regardless of what class I am, I'm not going to treat somebody differently because they're higher or lower than me. Or if I'm higher and somebody else lower, I would never want to treat anybody like that because I know how it feels, and it doesn't feel good to have somebody treat you that way.
Hi, my name is Michael Carrier, and I was born in Detroit, Michigan. I was born into a working class family, and we lived in a working class neighborhood. As time went on, my parents got better jobs, and we were able to move to a middle class neighborhood. Um, After moving to the middle class neighborhood, I realized a lot of the kids in the area had a lot more material things than my parents could afford for me. We were able to live in the area, but affording the lifestyle was a different story. Um, I made friends in the area, but feeling a sense of belonging never really came. I never felt like I belonged. Also, in my circle, I had ideas of what a male should do, and I felt like a male should be tough. He had to prove he was tough, which led to me getting into a lot of fights. I felt like I had to prove myself. This got me into a lot of trouble, and I also felt that males should hold their emotions in. We weren't supposed to show too many emotions. This also led to using drugs and alcohol. as time went on, I got into selling drugs, I got into using more drugs, and I got caught up in the legal system. Throughout my life, I was in and out of jails, I was in and out of rehabs, and I didn't ever want to change. This was the way that I lived my life, and until I decided that I had enough, I didn't change. 2007 came and I went to the Salvation Army, and while spending time there in my program, I realized that I finally had enough. I didn't want to live the life that I was living anymore, and there was no choice but to move forward and progress with my life. While I was there, I found my true self, and I also found a lot of other things. I started to realize that I actually had a lot. I was very blessed with family, and I was very blessed with numerous amount of chances that I received throughout my life. Being in and out of the jails and rehabs, I talked to a lot of different people, most of which were minorities, and they did not get the same chances that I was given. In fact, the incarceration rates in the United States, this is per 100,000 people. For every 100,000 people, there are 380 white people incarcerated. For every 100,000 people, there are 966 Latinos incarcerated. And for every 100,000 people, there are 2,207 blacks incarcerated. I want to show that everybody, no matter the class, no matter the race, no matter the ethnicity or gender, that you can come up from the bottom.
Hi, my name's Amaris, and I grew up into a single-parent home. My mom was very hardworking, and we were considered a working-class family. My mom would make just enough money to pay for the bills and have a little extra, and even when she did, she would use that little bit of extra money to buy me something that I wanted. I really appreciated that because she would put my wants over hers, and when we would go shopping, I always felt guilty, but she insisted that she just wanted me to be happy. To be such a good-hearted person and a hard worker, it really upset me to know that my mom had the same salary for years, and I believed it was due to the fact that she was a female. I remember her telling me a story at work how she would have to clean the vans while all the men would sit on the side and just look at her and laugh, and they would do whatever they wanted. At this same job, they also had this raise. If you were there for 5 years, you had a salary raise, and all the men would get it, but when her 5 years came, she never received it. All bad things in the past, I'm excited to know that my mom will be pursuing a career in Homeland Security, and this is a job known for majority of the employees to be men, and she will receive a better salary guaranteed. If she graduates, she will have an achieved status.
Hi, my name is C.G. Stone. I grew up here in Winter Park, Florida. Single mother family. She raised 4 kids on her own. Definitely a working class classification. Worked our way up to middle class. We were really lucky to live in the area that we lived in. It was a highly desired area. The average price for a home is $218,000 to $900,000. So it's pretty nice price range. Very luxurious areas included. For me, with my experience with social stratification, it was mostly experienced through the public school system. C. Wright Mills actually had a great philosophy on the way that schools are set up in our government system and how they fall in the realm of stratification. He said the aim of education is to prepare the young for a good job in a large corporation or government, and this included not only vocational training, which is geared towards the specific area that you're going to work, but it also included social values, which they want to tell us how we need to act in society, and it included mannerisms, basically how you need to act. It starts at an early age. Elementary school, they placed the advanced students in classes together, and This was to minimize the distractions and keep the focal point on the education and the goals that they wanted you to achieve. When I was younger, I didn't really realize what they were doing, and now that I'm older and I look back on it, I can see that it was not a very good thing. As we progressed through each grade, we continued to be classed together. I went to school with, the same kids from elementary school all the way through high school. In middle school particularly, we were almost secluded. We had our own hallway, our own teachers, our own lunchtime. We did everything together, and they kept us, just like I said, secluded. It's kind of messed up when you look back on it. We were given really good resources to be successful, which is nice, and we were considered the leaders of the school. They wanted us to be the leaders. We were also chosen to be the leaders, and we were kind of destined to be successful. In a way, it was just them saying, this is who you will be friends with, this is how you're going to learn, and this is the path that we have chosen for you to follow.
As a group, we also decided that we thought it was important to include education in our presentation. So we all got statistics through school systems that we've all been through.
First high school that I went to, it was called Bunnell High School in Stratford, Connecticut. 57% of the students were white, and it had a 92% graduation rate. The second high school that I went to was Deltona High School in Deltona, Florida. It had an 81.1 graduation rate, and 73% of the students were white.
I've included some statistics of school systems that I went to. Finney High School, which is 99.5% black, has a 45.2% graduation rate. Denby is the neighboring school, which is 99.3% black, with also a 45.2 graduation rate. Some of the nearby schools, which are in the suburbs, Southlake High School is 58% white, 36.8% black, and the graduation rate is 80.2%. Dakota High School, 87% white, and the graduation rate is 90.7%.
I went to Winter Park High School, and we had a 62% white population with the graduation rate of 91%, which is pretty high. And in comparison to that, another school in the district, Evans High School, they were 85% black in student population, and they only had a 79.4% graduation rate, which is actually a lot more improved than previous years. So it's good to see that they're making a difference, but there's still an obvious difference between a school with majority white compared to majority black.
I got it! I know how to fix the world!
Change wants and expectations. Grow from narcissistic to caring about the greater good. Do not put our needs above the needs of others. In fact, go out of your way to put others before yourself. Do not place the quality of your life above others. We are all equal. Learn the difference between wants and needs.
We need to rid ourselves of distractions. Money is not the most important thing. Stop being a slave to material objects and the elite few. Stop listening to media for what we need, and we need to think for ourselves. We also need to demand more out of media and entertainment. Do not accept their exploitation.
Rid yourself of the blind eye. Stand up for and act when you see social injustice. Encourage others to do the same. Be an example and a role model. Take the time to experience other cultures. By accomplishing your own dreams, you can make it possible for others to accomplish their dreams too.
Last final thought to leave you with: neither the life of an individual nor the history of society can be understood without understanding both. From C. Wright Mills.